I'm so lucky to have some of your time, Rick. Rick, one of the longest standing members of Guaranteed Removals, Erase.com. He's taught me so much. And we thought we'd get together today to go over just some case scenarios, talk about the business. Rick, I know you've seen it all and you've really helped so many customers and you've helped me figure out things in many different areas of online reputations. I figure we get together and put together a fun video for some of the people out there that might want to watch it if you're down. And we won't talk about the Miami Dolphins or the Cleveland Browns at all.
Yeah, definitely not. It's obviously a sore spot. Rock, thanks for putting this together. Yeah, like you said, I've been in this industry for way too long. I had a lot more hair when I first started, but yeah, it's been a while. Very straightforward. Reviews are something we get asked about, probably more common than any other inquiry that we get. Reviews have a place in society right now where they are absolutely at the forefront for most businesses in terms of challenges. It's hard enough running a small business, medium-sized business, even a large business, and making it profitable without having to deal with all of the ins and outs that come from these various review platforms out there. There are a lot of platforms out there that all they really do is allow people to give a very one-sided version of events, and sometimes they can destroy in a matter of minutes what has taken a small business owner decades to build. 87% of customers engage with businesses that have, a high star rating, okay, on, various different.
I rely on them heavily.
Yeah, for sure. It's human nature now. It's sort of built into the way we do things. It's part of society. I know for myself, I've been looking at purchasing a new vehicle, and one of the first things I look at is, the star rating of the dealership. I trust the brands. I do my research like everybody else. But when I'm deciding which dealership to buy it from, it's not just about which one is closest to home, right? You got to see who's taking care of their clients, who's servicing their clients. Sadly, what we're seeing as a trend in society right now is that people are leaving negative reviews on businesses. And some people might think, well, if they get a review, it's deserved. But unfortunately, that's not always the case.
I mean, I believe like you and I both watch our leads come in, frequently, right? One thing I see is a lot of people complain about their competitors. They're convinced like, this is definitely my competitor. We don't know who this customer is. We don't have them in our database. And we're sure that this is our competitor leaving us bad reviews, right? Just a totally different aspect to like what you were saying. Sure, someone could have a bad day, go into the restaurant or go into the business and say, yeah, this was crummy, I'm going to leave them a bad review. But there's this whole other side of the coin that is like not even related to the actual performance of the business. You have these people like seeking out to leave businesses bad reviews just because they don't like them or just because they're competition, right?
Absolutely. It's the cheapest form of advertising. If you think about it as a business owner, the amount of dollars and cents that have to be thrown at the acquisition of new clients, a lot of times you can essentially forego spending advertising dollars by destroying your competition's, online reputation. We see it all the time. And it used to be something that you would only see in very small businesses, sometimes restaurants and things like that, where they would take things very personal. Now you're actually seeing it in professionals. You're seeing dentists leaving negative reviews for other dentists. They're not clients. They're just trying to hurt a competitor. Right. You're seeing lawyers even doing that type of stuff. It's being done in all walks of life. I don't put anything past anyone nowadays. It's definitely something that is challenging for a lot of businesses. And that's where we give people the opportunity. We give small businesses a voice. We give them the ability to fight back. A lot of times, you can go in and flag a lot of these reviews on your own. Various platforms allow for that, but there isn't the ability to always tell your side of the equation, your side of the story, your ability to go beyond just a simple flag that often gets rejected automatically or in due process. What we do is we take it a step further. We leverage a lot of know-how, a lot of proprietary items that we've developed over the years to be able to engage these platforms and advocate for our clients and potentially get these reviews taken down. Very straightforward. The costs can be all over the place in terms of the platform and what it is that we're attacking and working on. We do have discounts for bulk orders and things like that as well, but we do have various ranges that go anywhere from, a few $100s up to potentially even a few $1,000s, depending on the platform. But all things are possible. Okay, we've worked on every single platform. We can alleviate problems for all kinds of professionals out there.
Yeah, it's definitely an area of the service I really stand by looking at what our operations team does to work each one of these cases. And there's so many facets to it. It's like you said, a customer can surely go in and flag it on their own. But I think about the amount of time and the headaches we save with the relationships that you've helped the company make, all the experience that the ops team has here. It's really something special. I think people really realize when they're getting involved with us just how hard we work at like trying to help them. Just coming to us alone can save people so much time, and the team,
sure.
roughly 8 or 9 ops members alone. I mean, to watch them claw and scratch, to utilize whether it's a legal team, a lawyer, to fight for people is it's really inspiring, from my end.
It's definitely heavy lifting. It's not something most business owners can do on their own. The reality is there's a lot of different things that business owners, they specialize in their own world. That's why they started that business. They're not looking to, become experts in, publication law, internet protocols, and the various standards that govern these different platforms. Sometimes it can be very simple if you see offensive language, threats, personal attacks, things like that. People that identify themselves as non-customers, those are all part of these fake reviews that we encounter on a daily basis. The other time is that we take the personal side of it out of the equation. As a business owner, sometimes things can get very personal. You can get caught up in leaving negative responses that will potentially hurt your business or cause you further backlash. The way that a business responds to these reviews can sometimes do a lot more damage than good. And there's a very fine line between defending yourself and, quickly causing irreparable damage to your business. Like I said, something you can spend decades building a business. Along comes, cancel culture or one negative customer who, completely embellishes what their experience was at your location. And all of a sudden you can have 200 negative reviews in a matter of hours. One of the stories that I always talk about is someone who appeared on the evening news wearing a jacket that had the logo of his company on there. He appeared on the evening news. He gave his his quick little interview that they were asking him about an event that he saw happening, and it was a little bit of a controversial statement that he made during the interview.
Political, like a political thing.
It was politically charged, and
Right.
he gave his opinion, which we all are entitled to our opinions. What wasn't fair was that his business was brought into the line of fire. Just simply a logo on his jacket. Overnight, he had 250 negative reviews left on his business, completely destroying his business. It was a business that was family run, left to him by his father. It had nothing to do with customer experiences. It had nothing to do with the quality of services rendered or the quality of the work and all the people he employs and things like that. But had we not come to the rescue, it could have potentially shut down not just his revenue and his lifeline, but that of all of his employees and their families, right? So a lot of times that's one of the things we take into consideration. Reviews are such that, even for a business who, has been sold, we see that oftentimes people purchase a business, they take over a business, they have their own ideals, their own strategies of what they want to turn it into and build. But unfortunately, they're inheriting the sins of the past, and they take this whole legacy of negative reviews that were there before. We can alleviate things like that as well, and work towards giving somebody a fresh start. So all kinds of different things that we're able to do, in terms of, our process here at Guaranteed Removals. We have all kinds of different tricks of the trade and things that we can help customers with.
Yeah. Well, for those businesses that do need help with whether it's their GMB profiles or what have you, we have various services to help them. For on the business end, if I haven't said it already, which I don't think I have, I know we discussed guaranteeremovals.com and erase.com, but whoever's watching this, feel free to reach out to Rick. Like I said, is just incredible at finding solutions for people in all areas. For erase.com, it's 866-92-ERASE. And then on the guaranteed removals end, call us at 866-523-5551. Those are the numbers to get in touch with Rick and his team. And like I said, about a decade of experience. Rick has taught me so much about reviews in general, so many different ways to handle those. We see tons of scenarios. Like I was just looking at the lead form submissions now. There's some pretty, goes right along lines. You want me to read some of these? I'm going to read
Yeah,
them.
absolutely. Fire one at me. Obviously,
God.
don't disclose any customer information, but I love seeing stuff from the mailbag and seeing what we've got on tap.
Oh man! So this one just came in. It says, "I had to fire an employee for stealing. Since then, the terminated employee has had friends go leave bad reviews." This just came in. "I had another incident where a band played a gig. Pay was determined on the turnout. They said they had a huge following and they did not. Ouch. Their parents came to the show and two other friends of theirs. Sales were less than what they wanted to be paid after the gig. The band then made a false story and left negative reviews on my business account." I mean, it was a crazy story.
That's a perfect example. So something like that, it sounds like we have a business owner, most likely a bar or restaurant. Very straightforward. Again, like what we said, where you sometimes don't get your side of the story told. Here's someone who was caught stealing, had to be reprimanded or potentially fired even. It sounds like it was with cause. In this scenario, the person was jaded and they left reviews, solicited a bunch of friends to leave negative reviews. Those friends weren't customers, right? They just piled on. The other scenario there is that they might have even been told a totally different version of events. I know if I was ever caught stealing, not that I would be, but if I was ever caught stealing, the last thing I do is reach out to all my friends and say, yeah, I got caught stealing, leave a negative review on my employer. They probably made up a whole bunch of different reasons of why they got fired, out of shame, embarrassment, whatever the reason was. But they probably told enough of a story that it compelled people to want to hurt the business or leave negative reviews. Definitely a classic scenario for us. It is something we could help with. As far as hiring a band or getting some form of deal in place for your business, sometimes not all business deals work out. Not every party to a deal walks away thinking that they were done right by. A lot of times people will leave reviews. In this case, again, the band members were not customers. They did have an agreement in place with the bar. They didn't like the way that it worked out. Part of that is their fault if it truly was based on ticket sales or, attendance at the venue.
Could be anything.
Yeah, things like that go south real quick. But again, not something that should affect the business. If you don't like something in that scenario, take it up with the business owner directly. It is, even potentially look at getting a lawyer involved if you feel there was a breach of contract. But definitely not something that should have been part of a review. Unfortunately, one of the things is that most of these review platforms don't actually take into account what was posted, what was actually put out there, and what was
or what their relation is to another business or their past. Right?
Yeah, and in all fairness, some of these large corporations that have these platforms, that's not what they do. They don't get into this process to be the judge and jury and review every single review. Some of them have thousands and thousands of reviews being written every single day, in one geographic region alone. So, can you imagine having to review every single thing that was written? Not really what they signed up for.
I mean, the one thing as I go down this list of leads, I say all of these business owners, they seem not desperate, but just very troubled. You can see like the one I just read, the guy wrote a paragraph there. He's just probably very stressed out about it. You can imagine like what legwork is that person going to even take to start to battle this? It's why we exist, right?
You gotta think in terms of the simple mathematics of it. When a business operates above board, let's say this is a bar or restaurant, and they do as good as they can with their customers. They put out good food, they put out proper drinks, service people with a smile. That's the intent of these people. They want to turn around and make a business, make their income with it. You might have a good solid rating in the fours, 4 to 5 star range. And all of a sudden something like this happens. You have this one event where people are soliciting friends or band members and, various people. It's so many negative stars or negative reviews all at once. It can quickly take you from a 4.5 star business or even a 5 star business right down to a 2 star business or even a 3 star business. And the second that you are anywhere lower than about a 3.4, 3.5 star rating, you're essentially sending all of your business to a competitor. Okay. Again, I go back to what I was saying about the dealerships. If I was looking at a dealership and I'm looking at two very similar locations, one on either side of me in terms of geographical location, they are the same brand. I have to honestly say, hey, if one of them is a 3.2 and the other one is a 5-star business or a 4.5, where am I going to purchase my car from?
I agree. I'm a 3.8 and up. Like if I see something below a 3.8, I get suspicious. I'm like, what is going on here?
For sure. And it's hard to please everyone. You're going to constantly be subject to backlash as a business. It's hard to be 100% a 5-star business and make sure that absolutely everyone thinks you're perfect. But you want to be as close to that as possible. You want to, mitigate the damage, be proactive with taking care of these negative reviews as they come. You don't want to let them accumulate to the point where it's costing you potential business. Right. It's not a good strategy. Consider it a business expense in today's modern society. That's the review world. That's the way that we consume the knowledge that we're given by the internet. Everybody has access to the internet on their phones nowadays. So it's very common for people to look these things up as they're making decisions, either by doing research or even on the fly. People are constantly going to see, the Google ratings or other business platforms served up right in front of them. So important to stay on top of it as a business owner.
Rick, for the doubters, for people out there, I've been in contact with a lot of customers who doubt that we can get this done for them. You have to basically, tell them, hey, like this is a real thing. I think a lot of people out there still doubt it and they don't believe that we're able to do this. Do you have a figure in your head or that you can access to let people, the audience know, anyone that watches this, how many customers we've actually helped? I know it's a big number last I've looked, but
it's upward of 10,000 customers that we've helped, and the amount of reviews that we've successfully removed is astronomical. The reality is, and the beauty of our business model is that we've been doing this for over a decade now. This is not a new business. This is not a fly-by-night business, nor is it a brand new industry. Maybe new to some of the viewers of this video, but the reality is we don't charge people up front for the removal of these reviews. If we succeed, and only if we succeed, that's when you pay for the services rendered. Most businesses can't afford the luxury of operating under those circumstances, but we do. We work on contingency, where we state the facts right up front. We tell you the exact price of what this is going to cost to the penny. No surprises, no lies, everything in writing. And at the end of the day, when you're satisfied with our work and we've done exactly what we've said we were going to do to a T, that's when you pay for the services rendered.
And that's for whether you have one review or high volume of bad reviews you want to get removed, we'll work with you. We're not.
That's right. We only pay for our successes. You do not pay for failures. You do not pay for attempts. It's very, very straightforward. And we work on all platforms. To various different platforms have different degrees of success. Most of our clients will walk away saying, wow, that was incredibly efficient, and I'm shocked that you guys were able to succeed where others have failed. That's the beauty of what we do. And that's why we take a lot of pride in what we do. We've carved out a path that works and helps a lot of people. So, obviously you're going to be proud of something like that and what we've achieved.
Well, you've taught me a lot, Rick. Like I said before, guys, if you're catching the tail end of this, businesses, feel free to reach out. Go to the website at erase.com, 866-92-ERASE, or individuals, give Rick and his team a call anytime. Rick, what else you got going on today? Anything on the leads end, the marketing end you want to talk about?
No, we're good for today, buddy.
All right, my brother. It's an honor to spend some time with you, man. I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know you got tons of leads and calls to make, so we'll cap it at that. And until the next time, folks out there on YouTube or what have you, thanks for tuning into us. And that shirt's sick, Rick. I don't know how you're so handsome. I don't know how you do it.
I try.
All right, man.
All right. Nice talking to you. Talk to you soon. Bye.
You too, man. You too.